Violet stopped explaining this to Elaine because she noticed that Lance was waking up. He was waking up slowly. He was just opening his eyes. Well, of course, Elaine saw that too. Opening his eyes, and he couldn't focus at first. I mean, he had no idea where he was. But eventually, he was able to speak. Well, he saw that there were two women there, or a woman and a girl. They came into focus, and he spoke to when he could, he spoke to the woman and said, "My lady, where am I?" But then he stopped and said, "I mean, my lady, could you please tell me where I am?" In his distress, he could not avoid being courteous. It was just built right into him. Violet said, "Well, you're in Richland, North Virginia. You're in our care." And Lance, still his mind foggy, he said, "How did I get here?" Violet said, "Well, you bicycled here a very, very long way. As a matter of fact, you bicycled the whole way across the continent. We've talked to your father." She didn't speak as fast as I'm speaking now. It wasn't that easy. But she went on to say, "The last part, you didn't bicycle, though. You were pushing your bicycle. That's how you got to this house." And then she said, we have no idea what brought you to this house. And we have no idea why you were and are in such bad shape." And Lance took a while and he said, "Oh, yes. Wedge told me. He gave me your address." And then he couldn't really say more. I mean, this was really hard. He was struggling. He was just in and out of consciousness, really. Well, Violet let that drop and started to work the liquids into him. She was still using Coke and a straw, and at first he didn't drink very much, but then he drank more, and he tried to talk, and they tried to listen, but the main thing Violet was doing was she was trying to get liquids into him. And he tried to sit up but couldn't. but he could hold. They held his head up. Well, you probably know what that's like. I bet you've been with people that sick before. He then said, my lady. I mean, I'm making it seem as if this was easy. "You've done so much for me. May I ask something?" And Violet said, "Sure." He said, "I am so cold." And he was in fact shivering. "Could you please get me a blanket?" And with just a look, Violet sent Elaine off to get a blanket, and Elaine came back with two, and they put it over him. And Violet knew that was not uncommon. He very clearly had heat stroke, and now to feel cold, his temperature had gone down, but she understood this. She knew what she was doing now, and he said that's so much better. And she saw he was going to go out again, but she got him to drink a little bit more before he did, and then he laid back and out he went. This time, though, it wasn't losing consciousness as much as it was going to sleep. And there he lay.